What's up, YouTube? Ian Sandusky back here again, finally for Let's Machine. Apologies, I haven't been uploading a lot lately. We've been busy, the inspiration hasn't struck me, whatever it may be. In any case, today on Shop Talk, we're going to be talking about shop morale. This is one of the most important things when it comes to having a sustainable shop and being able to retain staff at your workplace. I think, it's my personal opinion anyway, that staff morale and job satisfaction is just as important, if not more important, than the amount of money that someone makes. I know guys that have worked at shops that make really good money, above average salaries for their industry. They have good benefits. The hours are, maybe not as great as it could be, but despite the fact they make that much money, and despite the fact that they have, that prestigious of a job role, they'll quit. They leave. They're not happy. They go home. They complain to their spouses. Long story short, they don't last long there. We've had it here before where someone has left, and realistically, no amount of money can keep them there. This is back in the day. We've obviously changed some stuff since then. We've learned a lot along the way. But money is a bit of if the money's not there, no matter what, someone's going to leave. You can't pay someone peanuts and expect them to stay no matter how happy they are. Everybody has to pay their bills. That said, staff morale and your satisfaction in your job, if you can be able to deliver on that, makes people stay a lot longer than giving raises or making a competitive wage or giving someone a little bit of an increase. Tends to only make people happy for a fairly short amount of time. As soon as they kind of adapt to that new wage or they adapt to whatever it may be, their satisfaction, if it's not being kept up, will drop off again fairly shortly. And what can you do? Do you keep raising? Eventually there's a ceiling. Everybody has their margins, right? So in my opinion, job satisfaction comes down to a couple of things. One thing I find that's really important for job satisfaction is the ability for someone to work independently and have responsibility for their own work. This to me means not micromanaging people quite so tightly as some of us as management or business owners, whatever it may be, may like to. You can't sit on people every day, tell them how to do every aspect of their job and expect them to feel like they have any kind of self-determination or responsibility for their work. If you're constantly over someone's shoulder telling them, you need to do this every step of the way, and then going and checking to make sure they did this every step of the way, and not giving them any responsibility for their work, they're not going to feel any responsibility for it. If something screws up, very easy for them to turn and point the finger and say, well, you checked every step of the way, what am I supposed to do? It kind of eliminates any sense of pride or accomplishment in that job. One thing I try to do here for our guys, and it comes at the cost of making us have to trust our staff, and this is not a bad thing, our staff are great, but it's giving people the ability to take a job, do it how they see fit the first time, whether that's how they fixture it, whether that's the machining approach, whatever it may be, and either before they actually run the program, if it's a one-off, or before we do it again, we'll go back and analyze how we did on it. If we've run it, we'll go back and analyze how we've done on it and see, hey, listen, you know what? The way you did it the first time was great, but we need to increase speeds by this much in order to get our time to match our quoted price. Or, if it's a one-off and we go and check the program, I'll say, listen, I really like A, B, C, and D, but I think you should change your approach on D because I just don't feel like it's going to be as effective. Whatever it may be, it gives that person the chance the first time to go around and do it the way they see fit with what they know. This is extremely important. Not only do you develop more this way, but it forces people to invest in it mentally, invest in it, take their knowledge and try to apply it the best they can. And when that works, the sense of pride you get out of that is a lot higher than if somebody sat you down and said, you need to do A, B, C, D, and if you forget D, I'm going to fire you. Secondly is flexibility with hours. I try to do this as much as possible for our guys. As long as you're getting your 44 hours in a week, we don't run double shifts or anything like that, so as long as you're getting your 44 hours in a week minimum, I'm typically happy. This means we suffer a little bit in terms of production per week, because sometimes there won't be guys working the same schedules. We can have a ton of machines running at the same time. But the ability for someone to be flexible and not feel like they have to be here, exactly 8:30 until 5 p.m. every single day has really proven valuable for us. Giving people the ability to say, listen, I need to come in a bit late today because I need to go to this appointment. You know, a lot of things are only open 9 to 5. When you work a trade like us, is predominantly, 8:30 or 7 till 5 or 6 p.m. That really kind of makes people feel stressed out a lot. Giving them the ability to say, listen, if you want to work 10 hours Monday through Thursday and come in for a half day on Friday, no problem. We actually run that schedule very frequently. I do that schedule myself fairly frequently if I'm not working 10-hour days, 5 days through. The ability to say, listen, if you want to come in and work the weekend instead of working Monday, no problem. At the end of the day, because of the schedules we run, it actually ends up more beneficial for us because we are a small shop, because we get those extra days out of people that other people aren't working. We may have, this guy run the job for 5 days, and then somebody runs it for 2 days on the weekend. So that job actually runs for 7 days a week, even though the people are only working 5. Does it always work out perfectly? No. But in my opinion, what we lose from not having, maybe 100% production all the time, we gain by having staff that we retain longer and are generally more happy. Finally, I kind of think that you need to offer criticism as much as you offer praise, but you need to make sure you phrase it correctly. This is really important in job satisfaction, in my opinion. I've been in jobs where I've had people do nothing but, give me positive praise all the time. Within a couple of months, you're basically saying, do you know what you're talking about? I know I screwed that up. You need to be able to recognize the fact that I have areas to grow in, and people want to feel like they're growing. If all they're getting is amazing, 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 there's no sense of growth, there's no sense of development. You need to face challenges and feel like you're challenged, and maybe be criticized on those challenges as you go along in order to feel like you've gotten somewhere to, have earned that praise. Conversely, I've been in shops where I've been never told that I've done anything right ever. I'm not the kind of guy that needs someone to sit there and cheerlead for me or pat me on the back every time. But if you're constantly just doing your job in the eyes of your employer, and maybe sometimes when you screw things up, all you're getting is criticism, there's never a, hey, this turned out well, let's make sure we do that again next time because it turned out well, that kind of thing, I also feel like that's really detrimental. You should recognize when your staff or your coworkers or people under your management are doing things correctly. That doesn't mean you need to buy them a card and flowers or anything. It just means you need to recognize when things go right, just as much as you recognize when things go wrong. I think everybody in this trade, big manly men and stuff, like to think that they don't need praise from anybody. I think that's a little wrong. I think that's a bit of a misconception. I don't think it goes anywhere if you just go in, do your job, and someone says, congratulations, you did your job today. I find like that doesn't retain people well as either. It certainly hasn't retained me when I've been in that situation. It's made me look for another job fairly quickly. Okay guys, that's kind of my little pep talk on staff morale. A couple of you guys had requested that and keeping it up in a shop. These are just a couple of my thoughts on it. I'm sure I'll think of some later when I'm not doing this video that I may want to add in another video at some point. But in any case, I hope this has been helpful and maybe a little useful in your management or shop ownership. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching as always. If you want to see more videos, make sure you like and subscribe below. Thanks again, you take care.